You're listening to In Touch with Terri, brought to you by the Inbound Podcasting Network and Terri Ross Consulting, expert management consulting and sales training to help your aesthetic practice thrive.
What do you think made you successful?
Passion, absolutely number one. It has to be for what you're doing. Like you said, we're all family. I mean, my clients, my employees, when I said the win-win-win, it was that passion. Then it boils down to the business of, okay, this is a business and we have to manage it. I'm a real big systems and structure person. I dot I's, cross T's. I love numbers, and I love it when the numbers lead me to other victories.
Well, hello again, Terri's Tribe. Welcome to episode 8 of In Touch with Terri, a podcast that's designed for healthcare professionals looking to develop systems and processes to attract more clients, convert more patients into paying procedures, and of course, to generate more revenue. My name's Tim Cicerelli with Inbound Digital Media and the Content Marketing Specialist for Terri Ross Consulting. Now, over the last several weeks, I've been introducing the podcast and handing it off to a pre-recorded message from Terri Ross. But today, here we are looking at each other face to face, well, kind of through Zoom, because Terri, we're social distancing. We're being responsible citizens and professionals by communicating through cameras and computers. So it's nice to see your face again.
Oh my God, it's so good to see you, and so glad to be back. So glad to be here. And I'm so thankful for you guys. The downloads are just shooting through the roof. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy. And I'm just here to kind of continue on this momentum and give you some good stuff right now while we're all in this kind of, state of flux. I want to bring a little love and a little light to this segment.
Well, Terri's Tribe is growing with our friends on the other side of the speakers, but it's also growing internally with Terri Ross Consulting. And so today, let's just let Terri's Tribe know we are releasing 2 episodes this week. One, we're going to address what's going on with the coronavirus and social distancing and how it is affecting our businesses, how it's affecting our bottom line. And you and our newest team member are going to address those situations coming up in the next episode. But right now, why don't we introduce the newest member of Terri's Tribe, the newest member of Terri Ross Consulting, Robbi Grayson.
Yes, I am so excited. I have known this woman for many years, and she's a friend. She has been in this industry, longer than me. And I'm so excited to actually learn from her, but I'm more excited that she gets to be part of this team and this tribe and what we're able to both develop and give to our clients, because, really that's most important. We've both been around a long time. We've been intimately again, I think one of the things that makes this company different is that we've both ran firms and spas. So we have both the tactical, tangible, real world shit that we know from being on the inside. And so now what we want to do is just, again, humbly give back. For everyone that knows me, you've seen me on stage. What you see is what you get. I don't bullshit around. And actually, that's what I love about her. She doesn't either. And so I am super excited to welcome Robbi Grayson to the TRC family. Hi, Robbi. So glad that you're here.
Thank you so very much. And I am so excited to be here and to be a part of this. And this is a great new chapter for Terri Ross Consulting. And I'm just honored to be a part of all of this. So we're going to do some great things. So thank you, Terri.
So we're super excited to have Robbi part of the team. And for my tribe out there listening, and for my new tribe who are constantly joining since I launched this podcast, first of all, I'm so grateful to you. I want to talk a little bit about why we decided to bring Robbi on. And it's a couple things that we are growing exponentially. As you know, I'm a part of the aesthetic channel. I'm a part of the American Medical Spa, which is the place for anybody looking to start a spa or scale or expand. I mean, that is the go-to place that you have to go for the resources from a compliance perspective and a legal perspective, but also in terms of people that just genuinely know their lane, right? I know what I'm good at. And for those of you that want an experienced consultant to help you save money and save time and make the right choices, that's us. And that's why we're here. And so between my sales training program, launching the podcast, launching the online sales training, and then having, about 20, 30 clients on retainer, I was like, holy shit, I need help, right? I need help. And I need somebody who I know I can trust, explicitly who's going to take care of the clients the way I do, because you guys know my tribe, become my family. And that's why Robbi is here. Okay. So, I'd love the tribe to learn more about you. I'm pretty intimate. I get into it, and I would love for you to share your background and your experience so they know what they're getting when they are working with us.
I'm going to even go back to sort of the beginning of I believe, why I'm here, because I was raised a beauty brat. I grew up in the industry. My family had a small manufacturing company, but we manufactured primarily for the skin care and the hair care, the hair replacement industry. And I attempted to not stay in the beauty industry, went into dentistry, did what I was going to be when I grew up. And as life would have it, and of course it typically takes us down roads we don't plan for them to, came back to the beauty industry and became very interested in the day spa industry. And this was back in the mid 80s. So I'm going to, age myself a little bit for some of you guys. And
thank God there's Botox, honey.
I was just going to say, and that's okay, because I'm happy to be, anyway.
And lasers and body contouring.
And
Sweetie,
all that
we have
stuff.
all of it here.
Yeah, absolutely. So to the business of beautiful. Anyway, so opened in the mid 80s, one of the first day spas in the country. We were one of about 30. And may notice the accent, Charlotte, North Carolina. And we really became a leader. At the time, there was very little equipment and product and anything for us to even have access. I was having to bring things in from France and Germany. So
when you say day spa, just so we're clear, this was back when were medical spas even around, or were you talking like massages and pedicures, or a mixture of both?
Yeah, this is pre-Botox. The aesthetic world at that time was plastic surgeons. Lasers were not a big part of anything. Collagen injections, I had my share of collagen injections, but skincare, body care, spa, relax. Corporate business. We grew to be quite a large facility. I sold my company in 2002, and we had over 75 staff under one roof. So
oh my God, that's incredible. And how many rooms at that time? So, right, you said this is in the 80s. You grew, sounds like exponentially. This was your company, right? So you built it, you did it, you designed it, the infrastructure, the business, the hiring. That's the important takeaway here, guys.
Exactly. No. We started with 11 staff. And as it grew, we compartmentalized. I mean, I had how many treatment rooms we were 8,500 square feet. I had on staff, 18 of that staff was estheticians. We did have massage and body therapists. We did spa, nails, a lovely boutique. But as the company grew, and we were really a leader, between the wholesale company, Skin and Spa Concepts, I spoke at trade shows. So it was literally, we were pioneers. It was the beginning of what then, and before we sold we started having some relationships with, for example, plastic surgeon, patient sharing network, and having the plastic surgeons come. I remember when Obagi came out, and we worked with a plastic surgeon with Dr. Obagi's products at our spa. But anyway, one thing led to the other, and we rode that crest and rode it well. And somebody approached me and offered me a fair amount of money, and it was a win-win-win. It was good for me. It was good for my team. It was good for my clients. And so it was an opportunity for me to decide what the next chapter was going to be. So, and at that time.
So that was when? That was what, 2002, you said?
2002 is when I sold. So let
me ask you a couple of questions as it relates to that, because this is obviously as it parlays to any business. So while that's day spa, broaching into the med spa industry throughout the years, what do you think made you successful?
Passion, absolutely. Number one, it has to be for what you're doing. Like you said, we're all family. I mean, my clients, my employees, when I said the win-win-win, it was that passion. Then it boils down to the business of, okay, this is a business and we have to manage it. I'm a real big systems and structure person. I dot I's, cross T's. I love numbers. And I love it when the numbers lead me to other victories, like the sales process that we're doing at Terri Ross Consulting. If we can take those numbers and let them inform us as to how we set goals and other things we do. But that is back to your question. It was those systems and structures. I knew every single department, what the profitability was. I knew my productivity levels when we hired. It was because of need. When we had our interview and orientation process down so that we only brought new team members on in groups. Why just onboard one person when you can onboard 3 at a time? And then we create, there's some comfort there. Our turnover was minimal because we were a good employer. We loved our employees. They loved working for us. We did team-based bonuses. I mean, there was a lot of things that, and believe me, all of that didn't happen overnight. I learned that over a period of time. And then, of course, having the wholesale company and working with other day spas, resort spas, destination spas, and eventually med spas, there was a whole different perspective on the business from that too. So learning from peers, it was interesting. I mean, I was clearly a pioneer. There were not a lot of us doing that at the time.
I applaud you for your success because, again, it takes a strong businesswoman. While I love passion, we can be so passionate, about anything. If you do not understand how to run a business, and I'm sure we both find so often that there are a lot of people that, listen, let's call it what it is, right? We know that you go to medical school or you're a clinician or you're a provider, but you're not really taught business. And so I want to repeat a couple words back that I want to hit home, because I always say, if you don't know, you can't grow. So you said systems, you said structure, you said sales, and you said process. And so I want you guys to hone in on those words, because that is what we want to teach you. And you can't miss a beat. It can't be one or the other. And for those of you guys that have heard me speak before, I love the number 7, and I teach the 7 fundamentals to a 7-figure business. And I teach the 7 steps to the patient experience. And there are a lot of people that'll say, God, Terri, I don't really have the money, or that's expensive. Well, you can't do 1 or 2 things and want to have a $3 to $7 million business. You just can't. So again, back to, Robbi and I complementing our skills so much. That's again, one of the things I wanted to bring her on board is we both have done it, have different strengths, but together it's like a powerhouse team. And I'm even more digging it because this whole women equality, where it's not just, a man's world anymore. So thank you, Robbi, for that. And so let's kind of continue in how it's transitioned then you into, the consulting, getting into the med spa plastic surgery space.
So I sold my company and immediately went to work with a guy who's no longer with us, but who was a mentor. And at that point, I began developing destination and day spas. So got into the development industry. And but at the same time had spending a little more time in the Keys. So took a little break, and then was offered a position in the Northeast as president of a company, was a consultancy actually, that I had worked with and implemented some systems. So, a lot of, when you ask about success, part of my success was also from working with a consultant and following other systems that helped me build.
Give me an example. Like what kind of systems are we talking about?
Setting goals. Scoreboards. I mentioned that we had a team-based bonus. My entire spa was not, quote unquote, the old commission style, and everybody worked toward a common goal. I mean, we were able to provide 401k, full insurance benefits, paid time off, and in a lot of cases that's not even possible. But how did we do that? So I always say, if 2 heads are better than one, just think what 75 would be. So by engaging that kind of thinking, we took every team member and every category of services, so my estheticians, different groups of providers, and we created goals for that department and how could they support each other, because it wasn't the old me, mine thing, it was about the company. And that if the company takes care of the employees, and that was one of the things I learned from this particular consultant, was that how to create that scoreboard system and measure goals. And that to me is in any business and in your personal life, in your own, budget and things you want to do in the future. You gotta have goals, and they've got to be tied to how they're going to get you there. And that usually requires, it has to do with money and gross, and it's a way to measure it. So
I love that too, because you hear that comes up, right? Especially with the laws changing so drastically in this industry, people can't get paid commission now, right? You cannot get paid, providers cannot get paid commission on medical procedures. And so that's one of the questions I think comes up all the time. How do I compensate my staff? How do I compensate my team? Number one. So I love that. And then we talk about goals, right? So it's not as simple as just saying, hey, I want to get a med spa and bring in some equipment and I hope the people will come, right? We have to look at the demographics and the market, what the market demands, the saturation, how we're going to charge. Riches are in the niches, all of those things. But kind of to your point, people will say, well, I want to grow. And I say, well, how are you going to do that? Well, I don't know. I want to grow like 20%. Okay, well, how? Right? So I think to your point about looking at what the business model is and the procedures obviously that are in demand, but more importantly, yield the net profitability, which people just, right? Again, they don't know. I give a full talk on that. So, and I know that's one of the big things that you do too, since you're such a numbers person. I mean, we're talking about, she can, frickin' cut a pro forma all day long. So you guys wait to see what kind of info she puts out. Cause it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing stuff. Okay. So now that leads us to, you're leaving that company. You are still a consultant now in the med spa surgery space. You're doing new developments and new startups, because I want to kind of get through that quickly and then talk about what kind of led you here.
So I was, after the opportunity I had with the company, which was a consultancy as president, I was offered an opportunity to work as a consultant, primarily in the operations management and development side for medical aesthetic practices, plastic surgeons, dermatology, cosmetic derms, med spas. That's where I met Terri, but have developed probably 45 to 50 practices from the startup all over the country. And in addition, managed and coached another 50, 60 practices. And this is what I love. I love helping people. I go into those practices and they're like my practices. So
yeah, listen, there's very few opportunities in life that get presented to us where you can take a leap of faith and make a change. And like I said, I think, guys, it's so important about the people you work with and surrounding yourself with people you can learn from, but more importantly, that actually are so dedicated to the job. And this also goes with the people you hire within your practices, because it's not like I say it like this isn't a job, right? We don't want, if you want a job, go somewhere else, right? Because this is people that have got to be dedicated and love this space so much that they are fully on board with your mission and your vision and goals. And I think that's one thing we want to bring back to these practices, that it's not about hiring just somebody to sit at the front desk and answer the phone and book an appointment. It is about somebody that understands like what your vision and what is your, what do we call it? Your unique value proposition. When they're out and standing in that elevator or in the mall, they can rattle that 3-minute elevator pitch off because they give a shit so much that they care about what that practice does, which is again, why you and I make such a great team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So Terri's Tribe, as you can see, for those of you that are working with me currently and or are going to take this time right now to even reevaluate your goals and reevaluate your practice and where things are at. And I know this shit's scary, but you know what you're going to get now is double the trouble, double the fun, double the experience, double the knowledge. I mean, she is a badass. You heard her background. I mean, I would bring on no one less than that, because I care about you guys so much. And so I'm excited that we're going to be able together. You're going to get a 2-for-1, basically. You're going to get us both. You might work with me sometimes, work with her sometimes, or both of us sometimes, just to ensure that you literally have every single thing that you could possibly need to ensure you have a very successful team and a very successful practice that is growing. And that's what I'm excited to give you. So you guys, I have listened to you. I have heard intently. And I think with the addition of Robbi, we have expanded our service offerings for what TRC has to offer. So for those of you that were at the Medical Spa Show and saw us there in January, gosh, again, I launched this podcast. I'm super jazzed. My producers kick-ass. He's on here with me right now, Tim Cicerelli, who's amazing. You can hear his voice. I love it. We launched the online sales training program. And that was because you guys said, hey, listen, maybe I can't send my team or I'm new. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on the second segment, because while we have the opportunity and the time right now, this would be great. We want your team in 5 or 6 or 7 weeks to come back even stronger and wiser with tools and tactics. But, again, what Robbi brings to the table, we have coaching clients or consulting clients on a 3-month, a 6-month, and a 12-month, because these people are coming saying, listen, I want to build a med spa and I want to start this, or I want to expand. And so, what she's able to bring to the table, one, I couldn't do it alone anymore. And again, from her financial background and her ability, listen, I love numbers too, but at the core of who I am, I can sell, ice to an Eskimo, shit to a toilet can if I want to. So that is that's my jam. I love numbers too, but she loves them even more, right? So, I think again, together, we're going to just be able to give you guys exactly what you need to make you guys successful. So I'm excited about that. Stay tuned for sure for the next segment, because it's going to be a little bit more, a little bit more intimate, a little bit more personal, really talking about what we want to provide to you during this time. We know it's scary and everybody's feeling the effects of it, especially for these parents that are working parents and you have your kids at home now. Listen, I have a little 6-year-old and she's home too. So we're going to talk about that more. So please stay with us.
Thanks, Terri. And again, we want to welcome Robbi Grayson to Terri's tribe and to the team at Terri Ross Consulting. As Terri mentioned earlier in the episode, due to responsible social distancing, Terri has postponed her live sales training seminar until June 20th and 21st in Manhattan Beach. Now, we'll have more information on that as it becomes available. We have all been hunkering down as we navigate through this COVID-19 crisis, and we've been forced to stop our normal operations. So what do we do now? Well, we educate ourselves and we prepare for the time when it will be business as usual. So how about you sign up for Terri's online sales training video course? Make the most of your downtime and click the link in the episode notes to videos with detailed information about Terri's course, testimonials from those who attended the filming of the sales training course, and a link to sign up for it. It's titled Practice Foundational Elements, Your Roadmap to a 7-Figure Medical Practice. This video course offers 5 modules to help you build a rock-solid foundation for your business, and with information that is based off of Terri's 20-plus years of sales experience and her proven methods of scaling a Beverly Hills medical spa, yielding growth of $600,000 in just 1 year. Terri's online course also includes access to Terri's Tribe, a private Facebook group, workbooks, talk tracks, and key performance indicators, KPIs, which on their own is valued at about $1,500. Plus, you'll get the 13 critical components to a successful phone call. And if that wasn't enough, you'll receive special discounts on Terri's additional products, services, and live events. And to top it all off, how about a 30-minute call with Terri Ross herself following your completion of the course? That way she can answer any questions you may have or just give you and your team that extra dose of motivation to transform your practice. Also, right now is a really good time to think about having high-quality marketing videos produced for your website, your social media platforms, and possibly video-driven ad campaigns. And I would personally love to assist you with that. My company, Inbound Films, produced all of the videos for Terri's Med Spa in Beverly Hills, and of course all the videos on her website and her YouTube channel. I offer free video conferencing consultations via Zoom, and if we find that we're a fit, we can begin our strategic pre-production process during this social distancing phase so that we can be ready to film as soon as it becomes responsible to do so. We film all over the country, and our video products are probably more affordable than you might think. So check out the links in the episode notes to find all the ways you can contact me. I'd love to chat with you. In the next episode, Terri and Robbi discuss how to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on your revenue. I promise, this may be the most valuable episode we've released to date, and it's already released, so go and give it a listen right now. You won't be sorry. For Terri Ross of Terri Ross Consulting, I'm Tim Cicerelli with Inbound Films and the Inbound Podcasting Network.